Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm really excited for today's video. It is going to be my deco panning project pan update for the month of October. This project was created by Emily from Emily and Max. You guys know she is one of my favorite creators. She will be linked in the description box, as well as all of the information pertaining to this project and Emily's intro video. I highly recommend, if this is your first time catching a deco panning project pan update, go check out Emily's introduction video where she does such a nice job of explaining all of the game rules, etc. But this is essentially a game style, rolling style project pan, and I've tweaked mine just a little bit in that this project started with 5 products rolling style, but if I didn't reach a product goal each month, or if I didn't have a product that I would be rolling out, I still decided to roll a new product in as a punishment to myself. So I have 12 products that I am currently working on. I do have 2 products that I will be rolling out, which I'm super excited about. Last update, I switched a few things up and almost did like a refresh style update. So some of these products haven't been in that long. I've also mentioned in my previous few project pan updates for this month in my other projects, which will be linked below in case you're interested. I've just been feeling project pan fatigue. So take that with a grain of salt. But I do have 2 products that I will be rolling out, and I am going to be rolling 2 new products in to replace those. I know on some of my other projects I'm not rolling new products in because we're getting close to the end of the year. This is one of my favorite projects though, to like roll new things in because it is game style and it's just super fun. So if you're interested in my update, stay tuned. First, if you have yet to subscribe to my channel and you like project panning content or just chit chatting about makeup, I'd love if you'd consider subscribing before moving on. And other than that, let's jump into the update. Okay, I'm gonna go in order that these products rolled in, or like the length of time that they've been in this project. Fingers crossed I can remember the prompts that all of these were rolled in for, but if not, I do have the prompts saved on my computer, so when I'm editing I will insert the prompts. We can start with this lip gloss right here that has been in since the very beginning. This is the Bite French Press lip gloss in the shade Flat White. I panned one of these before. I've gone through a full size Flat White by Bite Beauty before, and I did not think that this was going to take me a lot of time. I rolled this in for the prompt Something a Friend is Panning. Rebecca Morgan put this in her rolling Project 10 pan at the beginning of 2022. She has since finished hers, and yet I have not. So this has been in since January, and it weighed 30 grams at the January update. It weighed 27 grams last update, and it still weighs 27 grams today. I have yet to take this stopper out. I believe I took the stopper out of the last one that I went through. As I'm looking into this, I feel like I'm discouraged because I've reached for this so much this last month. I really thought that I would have seen better progress. There was like lines of demarcation, but I actually just used this, but I wasn't seeing the lines of demarcation today. So I'm just like very confused, but I do have a feeling I'll need to take this stopper out soon. My goal is just to have this empty by the finale. And if I do not have this as an empty by the finale of this project, I'm gonna be so freaking disappointed in myself. But that is the update with that one. I thought for sure that was gonna be out by like March or April of this year. Okay, this next product was actually also rolled in for the prompt Something a Friend is Panning, and I selected Emily, who is the creator of this project. This rolled in April, and this is the Smashbox Cali Contour Kit. She was working on the contour shade in her whole collection project pan this year, so I decided to roll this in, and I gave myself a 20 use goal. This weighed 176 grams when I rolled this in April. It still weighs 176 grams. Last update I was at 10 out of my 20 uses on the contour shade, and I changed my goal last update for the final 10 uses to be any shade within this palette. I have not been contouring much at all for the past several years, so I just was finding it really hard to reach into this shade. I do love this face palette though, and I've been having a lot of fun working on face palettes throughout projects this year. I've been actually really motivated by the face palettes in my projects. Like, I feel like I've actually cycled through my face palette collection pretty well this year. So I wanted to keep the face palette in, but I just told myself the other 10 uses to reach my goal of 20, I could use any shade. I have reached for this 2 additional times, and both times I reached in for the blush. This is actually the blush that I'm wearing today. So I do still have 8 uses left. I'm hoping by the finale, I'll reach my goal in this as well. That's honestly just gonna be the goal with that one. This is not an exciting update at all, but for this next product, I have the Auric Smoke Reflect in the shade Defiance. I rolled this in for the prompt, an influencer, brand, or collab. And, ooh, I don't know what happened. Mine looks like super messy, but I only reached for this one time since the last update. I gave myself a 10 use goal on this, and I told myself at least 5 of those 10 uses, was it 10 or 20? 10. At least 5 of those 10 uses had to be, like, I had to reach into the potted cream shadow at least 5 times. I was at 3 out of those 5 uses for the cream last update. I did not reach for the cream shadow any additional times. Total for this product, I've reached for it 6 out of the 10 uses that I need to reach for it to reach my goal. So I do still have 4 uses left. I just cannot motivate myself to use products like this, but I love Samantha Ravindal, so I wanted to support her brand. I do feel like this is a really great time of year to use this product, and I am just fingers crossed hopeful I can just at the bare minimum hit my goal by the finale on that one. That seems to be the theme here. This rolled in May. It weighed 61 grams in May. It weighed 60 grams last update, and it still weighs 60 grams today. Next up, I do have pretty good progress on this next product. This is the Tarte HydroFlex foundation. I can't remember, I think I rolled this in for a liquid product. I believe that was the category. And this is a foundation that wasn't a favorite of mine, but I had already used up about half of it, so I wanted to finish it up rather than declutter it. It wasn't a product that I disliked so much that I didn't feel like I could get myself to finish it throughout a project pan. When I rolled this in May, I was about halfway through the product. It weighed 46 grams in May. It did weigh 42 grams last update. We were here last update, and again 42 grams, and now it weighs 39 grams, and by my best estimate, this is where I'm marking it. This is opaque packaging, so you really can't necessarily tell, so I just kind of shake it and kind of guess whereabout I think the product is. I did give myself a goal in my makeup rehab update to finish off 3 foundations before I could buy another foundation. I just posted my makeup rehab update for this month, so I'll leave that link down below in case you're interested in checking that out. I have finished 1 foundation. I do feel like I could finish this by the end of the year, and I have like a handful of others I feel like I'm so close on. Like, I feel like if I really put the pedal to the metal, I could actually have at least 4 or 5 more foundation empties by the end of the year, but I've really struggled to do my makeup, so we'll see. Next up, I have one of the products that we'll be rolling out. It is my ABH Sultry palette, and this got rolled in for a random color generator prompt, and I randomly generated a gray shade that was pretty similar to the shade Slate out of this palette. I gave myself a 5 use goal on this shade, and I last update was maybe at 1 out of those 5 uses, so I decided to give myself a different goal for this palette in general. And I gave myself a goal of just no pan left behind, meaning I had to use or dip into each eyeshadow shade at least 1 time before I could roll this palette out. I do have this palette on my eyes today, and I have reached for every single shade within this palette, which I'm super excited about. This is such a lovely holiday-esque or holiday themed palette. I do know I will get more use out of this before the end of the year, especially this used to be one of my most reached for, most used palettes, and if I was doing my makeup more frequently this year, I feel like this would have gotten so much more use, but I'm very happy that I've gotten use out of it. I love the look that I created today. It just reminded me how much I absolutely love this palette. This did weigh 184 grams when I rolled this in all the way back in June. That feels like forever ago. It weighed 184 grams last update, and it still weighs 184 grams. I'll be excited to look at the like progress photos and just see, like, I feel like there's definitely some more wear on some of the shades in here, so I'm excited to reflect back and look at some of the progress photos, because progress photos can be super motivating sometimes. Next up, I thought I was definitely gonna finish this foundation before the end of the year. This is the Rare Beauty foundation. So I rolled this in for the prompt, a winter product, and I rolled this in for winter because this is definitely my winter shade. This is such a light shade for me. I have really enjoyed this foundation and used this so much this year, but I've mostly used it as a mixing foundation because it is too light for me. I told myself I would repurchase this when I finish this, just in a better shade match, and I still believe I will once I get through some more foundations. But so when I rolled this in July. This weighed 70 grams and I was about halfway through the product. I thought due to like the lines of demarcation, I was more than halfway through the product. I've been unofficially trying to pan this product until June of this year when it turned into like a real effort to pan. But this weighed 70 grams last update and it weighs 69 grams today. And I'm just going off the lines of demarcation. And honestly, when I take the doe foot out and look in, it looks to be like there's product right about here. So I still have like over a third of this foundation left. I thought for sure I would finish this foundation by the end of this year, and I don't think this will be one of my foundation empties at the end of 2022. That is my goal within this project, but I don't see myself hitting that one. Next up is the other product that I will be rolling out. It is this Illamasqua Beyond Liquid Highlighter, and I believe I rolled this in for the prompt a highlighter. I just had this mini deluxe size sample. I actually have it on my shoulders today. I do have probably one more use left of this, but I am just gonna roll this out because I'm gonna just use it on my shoulders again tomorrow and then it'll be an empty. So I'm gonna roll this out. This weighed 5 grams when I rolled this in August, and it weighs 3 grams today. I'm very excited to have finished this off. I actually thought this was a really beautiful face highlight as well as body highlight. Very, very intense. So I did like using this best if I was doing, like, honestly, I would put this on and then put my foundation on over top of it so that it kind of toned down the glow rather than being this like super beaming highlight, just because that's not necessarily what I'm going for these days. But this was beautiful. Not necessarily something I feel the need to go out and purchase in a full size, but I was really happy to get to try that product from Illamasqua and get to use it, and now I have a new empty. Next up, I have my RMS concealer, which I rolled in August. This weighed 34 grams when I rolled this in August. It already had a pan when I rolled this in, and it still weighs 34 grams today. I believe I rolled this in for the prompt in oldest product, and I chose my concealer category, and this is definitely my oldest. I wanted to finish this by the end of the year. I don't see that happening. This has been in my collection with this pan for so long, and I just cannot get myself to finish this product up. It is not a favorite of mine for concealing underneath the eyes. Mostly when I do use this, I use this on my eyelids as like an eyeshadow primer, but I actually do like to use an eyeshadow primer, so I don't love this for that either. So I've really struggled to use this, but because I already had a pretty good pan in this, I didn't want to declutter that. I don't feel like this is going to be an empty by the end of the year, but you never know. All right, and then the final 4 products were all rolled in last update. I was so fortunate to roll the Joker in, or to draw the Joker card last update. And if you are unfamiliar, the Joker means you have to choose a product to work on that you really don't want to pan. So for that, I chose my Dose of Colors liquid lipstick in the shade Brick, and I gave myself, it's either Brick or Mondays, I think it's Brick. But I gave myself a 10 use goal because honestly, getting myself to reach for a red even 5 times in a calendar year is a lot. So 10 uses I felt like was a really good number. I did reach for this 3 out of those 10 uses. So I'm actually really proud of myself for that. I do need to reach for it an additional 7 times. There are 2 more months from now until the finale. So I need to use it 3 times one month, 4 times the next. I am actually really confident I can do that because I've really enjoyed this. Like, I think this is such a flattering, deep, vampy shade, and I've really enjoyed getting use out of it. In fact, I almost wore it today, and then I was like, I have nude things that I need to use as well. But I might film another video after this, and I might toss this on and get a 4th use out of it. But when I rolled this in September, this weighed 29 grams, and it still weighs 29 grams today. 3 uses I'm actually very happy about. Next up, I have this Hourglass powder. I cannot remember what I rolled this in for, so I'm gonna have to put the prompt on the screen for this one. I already had a really large pan in this. This is another product that I've been unofficially trying to pan for what feels like multiple years at this point in time. I have reached for this probably 5 times since rolling this in. It weighed 84 grams when I rolled this in last update, and it still weighs 84 grams today. I told myself that I didn't think I would realistically be able to finish this powder by the end of the year, but I just wanted to see how much use I could get. It just still looks so like raised along all of the sides that I'm like, I just don't, like, how long is it actually gonna take me to finish this powder up? Probably forever, it feels like. Next up, I can't remember what I rolled this in for. Oh, I rolled this product in for basically a product. What was it called? I forget the name of the prompt. It'll be on the screen, but it meant basically a product that either gives too much or gives too little. But in my eyes, I took it as a product that takes a little bit extra work or finessing to kind of get it to work how you want it to. And so for that, I chose my Pixie Glow Mist, because this is a beautiful glowy setting mist, but if you spray even half a spray too much, you can really end up looking really greasy, in my opinion, really quickly. And I actually used this every single time I did my makeup, I think, this past month. So when I rolled this in, this weighed 57 grams in September, and we were right up here, and now it weighs 47 grams with a line marking right down here. So if I use this the same amount between now and the next update as I did between last update and this update, this will be an empty, which I'm super excited about. My setting mist collection is probably the category in my makeup collection that's most under control, but it would still be nice to have another setting mist empty by the end of the year, and this will be an empty next update. Mark my words there. And then the final product to update you on before we roll into new products is my ColourPop Taurus Never Tore Us Apart palette, and I believe I rolled this in for, I believe, the shade Emerald, either that or a birthstone. It was one of those two prompts. My birthstone, I bet it was birthstone, and my birthstone is an emerald. And so for that I chose, and I'm not necessarily sure I would consider this an emerald, but I'm also a Taurus, so, and this has green. So I gave myself no pan left behind times 3 on this palette, meaning I need to use every single shade within this palette 3 times before I can roll it out. I have used all of the shades 1 time, and then I have used this shade 2 times. So I still have to use this shade 1 more time and these 3 shades 2 times in order for me to be able to roll this out. I actually do think I can hit that goal by the next update. This weighed 48 grams when I rolled this in last update. It still weighs 48 grams today, but I don't necessarily know that this would have gotten use out of me had I not rolled this into this project. I think it's great quality. I just feel so overwhelmed by my entire makeup eyeshadow palette collection that I don't necessarily know I would have reached for this had this not been in the project. So I'm very happy that it was. And then, so those are the 12 products that I have to update you on. Now I have my deck of cards. I've already like shuffled with the bridge a few times before turning the camera battery on, but I'll do this just so you guys know the cards are shuffled up, and we will be grabbing 2 cards. Hopefully I don't get the Joker again. We get the Queen of Spades and the 2 of Hearts. All right, so I grabbed my phone and I'm going to be pulling the game board up. I'm kind of nervous, but I will also pop it on the screen so you guys can follow along. So we got the Queen of Spades, which is a permanent category, and that is represents another project pan. Ooh, okay. I feel like I already have so many projects that I'm participating in, but this should not be a hard one to find something for. And then I have the 2 of Hearts, which is a backup item or a duplicate. Which do I have? Because I don't really buy backups all that often, if at all anymore. Or a duplicate. Okay, I'm gonna have to go search through my collection to see if I can find a duplicate or a backup, and I will be right back to share my picks with you guys. All right guys, I have my products picked out and I'm excited about them. So up first, for represents another project, I feel like this is like a gimme, but I need a gimme. So I chose the project Partners in Cream Project Pan, where you are focused on cream and liquid products. I am currently participating in this project, but I really needed a gimme product, you guys. Like, I'm feeling so much panners fatigue. I needed a gimme product. So I chose a liquid product for that, and I chose a setting spray. And normally I don't choose setting sprays to work on, even though now I'll have 2 setting sprays within this project, because I feel like naturally I just get through my setting sprays, but I needed a gimme product. So I chose my e.l.f. Stay All Day Blue Light Micro Setting Mist, which is something that I have recently started using as a makeup prep or in between makeup steps to kind of melt my powders together. So I am probably, by my best estimate, again, it's opaque packaging, so kind of hard to tell, but I think I'm about here. So I have about 3/4, maybe 2/3 left of this to go. This could be an empty in 2 months or it could not be. It just depends how much I do my makeup, how much I feel like I'm needing to melt my powders in. Sometimes I'll bring a setting spray with me, like in my purse too. Not necessarily in the winter, that's more of like a summer thing for me, but we'll see if this is an empty. My goal will be, if it can be an empty, that would be great. And then for a duplicate or backup product, so this isn't like a dupe for dupe duplicate. Like I don't have another little mini cheeky lip gloss by Fenty Beauty, but I do have multiple mini Fenty glosses in my collection, and I am trying to get through as many lip products as possible. Last year I panned 3 or 4 of the Fenty mini glosses, and I also panned one in my whole collection project pan earlier this year, trying to just get through some of my lip glosses. And actually I will say, I don't know if I'm disappointed or happy, but the Fenty Beauty like gloss holiday kit this year, I don't think I'm gonna purchase. In years past, I've gotten so excited for her mini gloss kits, but this year I believe it's like 3 full sizes, and I just like, I'm not interested. So trying to get through my Fenty gloss bombs. I think I'll always have at least one Fenty gloss bomb in my collection, but this one is in the shade Cheeky. I have used this, if I'm remembering correctly, I want to say I've maybe started to pan this like towards the end of last year, and then that project ended, so I didn't continue. I do always take the stoppers out of my Fenty gloss bombs. Sometimes it's a little bit difficult to do, but there's always so much product left in the packaging that it's definitely worth it. So my goal is going to be to finish this off. I again have 2 months to do that, but I feel like it's the perfect time, holidays, to use this cute red shade. So that is going to be my goal with this. And after that, this is a very long update because I have so many products that I'm working on, but that is going to wrap it up for my deco panning project pan. I hope that you guys enjoyed this update. Thank you so much for sticking around to watch and for supporting my channel, as you guys always do. I love you guys so much, and I will catch you in my next video. Bye.